If variety is the spice of life, curiosity is why we love spicy things. So welcome to today's Greater Life CoffeeCast, and with the focus being our pillar of happiness today. I want to share with you a little story about how last night, by getting perhaps divinely distracted, I became a virtual property owner in Buenos Aires. Now, the genesis of this particular happening occurs earlier in the day. I was listening to a Tim Ferriss podcast with a couple of folks who are very well versed and wise in the likely impact of Web3, which is the kind of next series of developments within the internet being built out around the whole metaverse and the crypto finance space. And they were unequivocal in saying that it's going to be as significant a revolution as the internet itself was. And that really pricked up my ears, because these are two folks. One of them is Naval Ravikant, who is just one of the sharpest thinkers in the kind of entrepreneurial / social space. And when someone like that says something as significant as it's going to be as revolutionary as the internet itself, like that deserves attention because of what he has done in the past. And so it really got me thinking about how I've paid very little attention to that space, because I see it as almost an anathema to the natural world. I see it as something that really should be held at arm's length, because it profoundly goes against one of the core principles of Greater Life, which is to let the forces of nature shape you into a force of nature. And yet, listening to this, I realised that, of course, fire can be used to keep us warm, cook our food, or burn down our house. And so that nothing is inherently good or bad. And so I guess it was percolating in my consciousness. So that when last night I stumbled upon, and I genuinely can't, as I speak to you now, can't think how I managed to stumble upon it. But when I stumbled upon an avatar creation engine, like a website where you create avatars, like a custom little kind of cartoon character of yourself. But I realized that these avatars were being plugged into a whole series of games and applications, one of which was a game called Upland, where you can buy and sell virtual versions of real life property, among a host of other things. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm open, I'm curious about this world now, because I've listened to this podcast and I'm curious to know a bit more. And about an hour of kind of dabbling and exploring later, I'd managed to buy my first property. And yet, for me, I couldn't see any huge draw. I couldn't see why I would want to spend a load of my time there, even though I could see that there are opportunities to earn actual money through the minting of NFTs, particularly linked to football players. And so I thought, okay, well, there's some areas of potential interest here, but at the moment, I'd want to do more exploration to understand the payoff, because I'm not someone who is big into computer games. They ceased to interest me a while back. However, I did see that it's the kind of thing where if you had time on your hands, it could be something where you could genuinely build up a collection of something highly valuable and potentially leverage financial rewards from the building of that collection. So it was interesting. And why do I share it today? Because I believe that one of the, and it's even within the NHS, one of the things they talk about is how to keep happy and healthy in later life. One of the biggest things is to not just stay active physically, but to stay active mentally. And so I recognize that even though it maybe isn't for me, this minting of virtual property and things, I celebrate the fact that I honored my curiosity. And so that is my invitation today. My question is, what are some things you're curious about? And indeed, how do you consciously cultivate your curiosity? Because who knows what I might have discovered by following my curiosity to understand NFTs and Web3. And there's still a vast amount of learning for me to do, I recognize that. So I will be certainly researching more on the topic. But I wonder, are there things that you're curious about? And what if you carved out some time this week to let your curiosity run wild? Right? And as I say that, I wonder if there is the link to letting the forces of nature shape us into a force of nature. That by allowing some wildness in, to let our curiosity run wild, perhaps we open up new doors, perhaps we plant new seeds of possibility, and in the process cultivate a very new and powerful pathway to joy. So, this week, how can you honor your curiosity? All right.